Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 5. And this episode is called Go Getters, which kind of fits the name of the episode. And this episode came out on November 20th, 2016. And I'm just going to get right into it. Overall, this was actually a decent episode. It probably was the worst one out of the last four that happened. But this, I think, is just mainly setting up some big stuff to come later on in the season. Probably the mid-season finale, hopefully. Let's see though, because I don't expect because I expect something big to happen there, but we'll have to wait and see. But let me get right into talking about this episode. So this episode kicks off. I'm gonna kind of talk about the episode in order, but then when they break up into different stories, I will talk about it in different stories. So Maggie wakes up in the Hilltop group, well, the Hilltop colony, and she wakes up in the doctors, and we found out that she had like a uterus misconnection. Basically, she was almost on the verge of losing her baby, and I think because of everything that happened in season 6, episode 14, was it 4? No, season 6, episode 13. That's what caused her to get that, because she said it's usually some nervous tension that happens. And in season 6, episode 15, when her and Glenn were in the shower together, we saw those bruises in the back of her. I think that's what it came from. And she's happy that she didn't lose the baby, and I think everything kind of sunk in for her because she had to have the doctor say it again. His name is Dr. Holland Coulson. And then Maggie and Sasha go and pay their respects towards Glenn and Abraham, and because they dug up graves for them. And Gregory is pissed that they're there. He wants them to leave because he doesn't want the community to know that they made a deal with them and possibly put the group in danger, and they're upset that they actually said that they took out Negan's group, the Saviors, when they really didn't, and they want them to leave. But Dr. Halson told Maggie that he had to stay there in case she had to stay there. I'm sorry, in case something bad happened. So, Gregory and Jesus get into a fight about it, and Jesus tries to fight for them to stay, but Gregory isn't listening. He gives them, he says they can spend the night, but then they have to leave the next day. And that was pretty much the whole episode. I liked the beginning of the episode. It was kind of a slow build to what was about to happen. And then Rick and Aaron go out on a supply run, which they didn't show in this episode. I expected to probably show it in a future episode. And Michonne doesn't go with them, and Carl doesn't want to go with them. And Carl's trying to get to Michonne because Carl knows that I think that Michonne doesn't really agree with Rick's decisions, and neither does Carl. But Michonne won't really open up to him. So then Edith tries to go over the wall because she's worried about Maggie, and Carl tries to stop her, but she doesn't stop. Him, and then they kind of talk about what happened in the season finale / season premiere. So season finale of season 6 / season premiere of season 7, when Carl had to watch Abraham get destroyed by Lucille, and Carl's not said he's not. Eden apologizes that he had to see that, but Carl's not sorry about it. And Carl said he's done trying to keep her safe, so he realizes he's not going to talk about it. So she goes over the wall anyways. And I'm just going to talk about this story all at once. And then Eden is going towards the hilltop, and a zombie is about to come and attack her. And since they don't have any weapons, she couldn't stab him. So Carl runs it over with his car. And then he comes out and says, "I wanted to go for a drive." I thought that was a good line. I liked it. And Carl and Eden open up to each other. Carl talks about how he isn't going to that if he ever comes across Negan, he isn't going um, to kill Negan for Glenn or Abraham. He's going to do it for himself. And he says he's not sorry he didn't look away because he didn't want to have a choice about whether or not he was going to kill Negan. And then Eden says, "I wouldn't have the choice. I wouldn't take the choice either." And then when Eden and Carl arrive at the hilltop, and I'll get into kind of more of that. I'm gonna kind of break Carl and Eden get into a relationship, and Eden realizes that Carl didn't go with her to save her. He went there to try to go kill Negan, and he says he did. And he says that he wants to kill this guy, and Eden's worried about how he's gonna win, and it doesn't matter. And Eden says it will matter to him. Then they kiss, and Eden says that she's not gonna stop Carl from killing Negan. And then now that kind of pretty much was that whole storyline. And then the other part of the storyline was everything that happened in the Hilltop crew. In the Hilltop group, that was kind of the main focus of the storyline. And Sasha wants Jesus to talk Gregory into letting Maggie and Sasha stay because Maggie just can't be on the road and has to stay off her feet during the rest of her pregnancy. And, well, not the rest of it, but for a few days, but has to stay at the Hilltop. So Jesus says he'll do everything he can. And Sasha wants Jesus to lead the group, to lead the Hilltop, but he said that he really isn't much of a leader. And then we hear some commotion happen. We hear zombies coming in. The place burns down, and actually no, then they were sleeping, and then it starts to happen. No, and then when Jesus leaves, Maggie and Sasha talk about how they're gonna find a way to make it so that way they can stay, and then then that happens. And Maggie was gonna go out and help her, but Sasha didn't want her going out there and possibly losing the baby. So Sasha, Jesus, and a bunch of some extras go out there and murder a ton of zombies, and they have to turn off this one of the cars that's playing music on it that we found out was sent by the Saviors because in the back of it it had like a middle finger flipping somebody off. I thought that was funny. And eventually they're trying to murder all these zombies, and Maggie runs over the car with the tractor. I thought that was hilarious. Well, no, I thought that was awesome, and they pretty much saved the town, and Jesus still was trying to convince Gregory to let them stay, but Gregory doesn't let him stay. I like the altercation that they had with each other, and Sasha offers that she just leaves and Maggie stays, but he doesn't accept that offer either. And then the Saviors arrive, and Gregory has Jesus hide them in the closet. Now, obviously, I said that very clearly because this kind of ties in to this episode. And the Saviors walk in, but Negan wasn't there. Instead, it was Simon, and who was the other main leader that confronted Rick's group in the season finale of season 6. And pretty much they Simon and Gregory get into this altercation, kind of like building stuff, and they were having kind of like a conversation, but it was kind of like one of those conversations where I hate you, you hate me, kind of like one of those conversations. I don't really, and Simon pretty much now runs the Hilltop now, and he pretty much told him about Rick's group, and it's kind of like one of those conversations where one person knows what happened based on their point of view, and the other person doesn't, and then vice versa. It was kind of like one of those conversations. I can't really go word bit by bit. And then they take half the stuff, and Gregory is about to give up Sasha and Maggie. But instead, when he opens the closet door, he finds alcohol, and Simon takes it, and he forces he forces Gregory to kneel, and then everybody leaves, and Gregory gets pissed that Jesus hid them in his bedroom closet, and not the hallway closet. And Jesus was pissed they were about to give him up, and Maggie said that you would have gotten yourself killed. So Jesus threatens to tell everybody in the hilltop about the deal they made with the Alexandria town if he doesn't let them stay. And Gregory says, oh, what? And then you're going to become the leader? And then Jesus says, no, but you won't be the leader. And then Gregory lets them stay. And then Jesus says that now we can be like that dysfunctional family. And then Gregory says something smarmy to Maggie. And she slaps him in the fucking face. And then he takes the watch that Herschel gave Glenn in season 2. I forget what episode though. And then she tells him that you're gonna call me by my fucking name, since we're a family. That's not really what she said, but I'm obviously going over dramatic about it. And then when Maggie walks towards the town, and this is what Carl had seen when they were all looking out. Yeah, Maggie sees Eden, and Eden had tied balloons. And I think we were supposed to have thought that this was Glenn's grave, but I guess apparently she never knew that Glenn died. So then Sasha comes in and kind of lets the cat out of the bag by saying that they tied balloons around Abraham. No, she thought it was Glenn, but didn't know it was Abraham. So then everyone's kind of having like a big happy family moment together with Maggie, Sasha, and Eden. I forgot to mention one thing. Sasha also asked Jesus where if they could find the Savior's compound or town and or sanctuary, and then wants him to take her there. And to keep it a secret. So we obviously know that Sasha now wants to kill Negan after what he did to Abraham in the season premiere of this season. And then Jesus sneaks back into one of the trucks, and he finds Carl, and the episode goes off the air. And that was pretty much the end of the episode. And yeah, this was a decent episode. It really wasn't anything special. Like I said, I think this was just mainly built into a storyline. What I did like about this episode is it felt like it was faster moving. It didn't really feel like it dragged like the other 3 of them in the past have been. I thought this one kind of moved a little faster. You could actually see that they were trying to get some storylines accomplished. So that part of I think that they did well, but it wasn't. But I still thought the other 2 episodes were better just because they had things about it I liked. But this was still a decent episode. I give it like a 6.5. Wasn't like good, but it was still decent. I didn't really get the point of showing Rick going out on that trip if we didn't see him again in this episode, but whatever. Because in the info in the Walking Dead thing on Netflix, it says that while Rick goes on a supply run, Carl sets out on a mission of his own. But I guess maybe I should have thought that through more, but whatever. But I thought this was still a decent episode. And yeah, I can't. There's really nothing I really have to say. So I'm gonna end off this video. I'm probably gonna do a couple of more of these. I at least want to get and finish season 8 to finish up to the mid-season finale. But looking at that, it's 8 o'clock, and I may not get to do that just because episode 7 and 8 are over an hour long. But whatever. I still think this season could be good. It's still kind of on the fence, but I thought Gregory came off very well in this season. In this episode, I liked Jesus in this episode, so it had some good characters. But yeah, you can see that they have so many characters that they have to dedicate their own episode to it. But whatever, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not really gonna say anything else. So I'll be back and after I watch the next episode to do the review for that.